Everybody, thank you for watching. My name is Don. Thank you to all my subscribers and brothers and sisters. I'm doing this video because what is happening now, flooding all over the world, biblical flooding, as it were, unprecedented flooding should be a wake-up call. Because I really believe this is a warning, a wake-up call for people to wake up and turn away from wickedness, as it were. This is just God saying, enough is enough. It's almost time. I will show you some examples. Credit to the two preachers about showing these, the flooding. This is Henan in China. I'll show you which happened in 20th of July. We're talking about only a span of 2 weeks. I will show you how much flooding around the world. It's not normal. Henan province on the 20th of July.
Where large swathes of Henan province are underwater after being pummeled by torrential rain. Weather forecasters say it is the heaviest downpour in 1,000 years.
As you see, it's not normal. This is Henan province in China, completely flooded, as that picture shows in the the subways and the city of Henan province on the 20th of July. The lady said it's newscast a 1 in 1,000-year event. So it shows that something is not is not normal. People need to get their head out of the sand. Shouldn't carry on the wicked ways, because God's judgment is coming soon. Paul Begley just done a video lately. He hit the head right on, nail on the head when he said it's like, the water breaking. Before a baby is born, the baby is in the amniotic sac, and just before contractions, it breaks before baby is about to be born. In 12 or 24 hours. If that, it could be just judgment could be just a year away. A day for a year or less. So this is like what's the flood. The world's flooding around the world. It's like the water breaking before judgment. Comes, and the birth of God's kingdom, as it were. So I will show you more examples. So I thought, it's quite apt, the water breaking, because so many places within a span of 2 weeks, and I will show you some more examples. Credit to the two preachers who, got these videos of the flooding around the world. I'll speak more after it finishes. I'll show about 4 minutes. The two preachers about worldwide flooding.
West of German states of Rhineland, Palatinate and North Rhine-Westphalia have experienced their deadliest floods in living memory. These are some of the images coming in from those areas. Heavy flooding has turned streets into raging graphic shows the rain across Europe. As you can see, Germany isn't the only country affected. Belgium, the Netherlands and France are all experiencing flooding too.
India and Mumbai. This is our Harvey in Turkey on 22nd of July. I'll just stop it there for a bit and I will show more just so I can speak. Do you see that? 15, these are just a span of just like 2 weeks. 15th of July, you saw Germany, unprecedented flooding in Western Germany. And 15th of July, also Belgium. A lot of European countries got flooded. On 18th of July, India, Mumbai, Maharashtra, province, and the 22nd of July is Turkey of Harvey area, so, it's all over the place, apart from China. So, you see, God told us, when in the Garden of Eden, to care for the planet. There's two parts to this, but consequently, what's happening is, to the world now with all this flooding. I will do, I will do fire next time. Is direct consequence for what we've done. So that's why God's judgment is coming very soon. It's what mankind has done. It's, the consequences of mankind. Time has come soon for the judgment to come, because the coronavirus already should be, pandemic should be a wake-up call, but now, global flooding. God told us to take care of the planet, when He put Adam and Eve in a garden, as it says here in Revelation 11, verses 18. the bit at the end is and to bring to ruin those ruining the earth. So instead of taking care of the planet, we've ruined it. In other words, we pollute the air, the sea, the land. Chemicals in the air pollute the land and the sea, oil and plastic everywhere. Shoots off nuclear missiles, deforest, cut down the forest, the lungs of the earth. So that's why God's going to this is coming back to not only save the planet, but those destroy, bring to ruin, bring an end to those ruining the planet, but because of the wickedness of mankind. What's happening now is a direct consequence. Instead of loving one another, mankind is going to war all the time in the Middle East, and is yet more because all they do is, carry on, selling weapons for money. So there's never ending this world. We're supposed to love one another. Instead, we continue to do wicked things, apart from, killing unborn children, abortions and homosexuality, all these things. So it's a direct consequence and wickedness on the earth. As it says in, before the flood, why did he wipe it out with a flood? He promised not to destroy the earth in a worldwide flood. Can you believe that? The world was completely flooded in one go. He won't do it this time, but it will bring flooding. As I said, God created the earth and with a balance. Because we've damaged the earth, the balance is off now. So, as it were, that God is allowing the earth to fight back. When it rains, it really pours. When the heat is very strong, the storms are getting stronger because it's all connected with the earth heating up. I will do another video about, fire. God is, heating up the earth. And all these things are happening because the wickedness of mankind and destroying the earth. As it says in Genesis 6, consequently God, Yahweh, saw that the badness of man was abundant in the earth. Badness, wickedness, this is before the flood. And every inclination of the thoughts of his hearts were only bad all the time. So God, Yahweh, felt regrets that he'd made the men in the earth, and he felt hurt at his heart. So God said, I'm going to wipe man whom I've created off the surface of the ground, from man to domestic animal to moving animal and flying creatures of the heavens, because I do regret that I've made them, because they turned bad. Of course, there were giants back then, that made it even worse, but the inclination was bad. It's like now, they don't want to know God, they just carry on doing bad and wicked things, especially the cabal, the elite. They're doing really wicked things, right now, with this pandemic, man-made pandemic. But, wickedness of mankind, killing everyone in wars and that. This is why God is bringing judgment on the earth. And these are like, as Paul Begley said, the water breaking, as it were, before, contractions or the labour, and God's judgment coming. I'll show you a bit more, even more flooding around the world. This is Italy.
Hello and welcome to the Two Preachers channel. My name is Chris Britton. This is Reza Afshar. Guys, take a look at this footage.
Debris is covering parts of Lake Como after heavy rain battered the area. Landslides and flooding have caused major damage. The bad weather comes after a weekend of fires, which were particularly devastating to the island of Sardinia.
Cernobbio, Italy, on the 27th of July. Hailstones in Parma and Fidenza, Italy.
Milano-Bologna, l'altezza tra Parma e tra Piacenza e Parma, grandinata mostruosa, i parabrezza rotti. E non solo i parabrezza, sono arrivate le ambulanze. Che roba, sembra normale.
UK in London. As you can see there, on the 27th of July, Italy got hit, Sardinia and Cernobbio area, flooding, and also in Parma experienced hailstones, biblical hailstones, when the rain turned to sleeting. They were that big and it just damaged the cars. That's, not normal. The 25th of July in London, the underground got flooded in London and parts of Kew. Again, see, all over the world in just a span of 2 weeks. So you need to ask yourself, is it climate change, global warming, or God's judgment? I believe it's God's judgment, and it should be a wake-up call. And I'm going to read Matthew 24, 37. For just as the days of Noah were, this is just before the flood, so the presence of the Son of Man will be. For as they were in those days before the flood, eating and drinking, men marrying, and women being given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and they took no note, until the flood came and swept them all away. So that the presence of the Son of Man will be. So, please don't take no notes like they did. A lot of people, took no note in a time of flood. Noah preached for 120 years to people, and no one took any notice until he entered into the ark. And again it says, so the presence of the Son of Man will be. Because when he comes, people will take no note. So you need to, wake up. The coronavirus, I did a video about that, is God's judgment. Though it's man-made, God is using this to bring about his judgment. The white horse, as it were, and this biblical flooding. This is a sign that his judgment is coming very soon. The water's breaking. So let me read. So please, take note, not no note like they did before the flood, and then it swept them all away. Apart from Noah's, the ones that will be saved are the ones that will take note, as it were. And you see, and also Ezekiel. Verse 9, 33:9 says, but as regards you, in case you actually warn someone, say me or anyone warning people, but as regards you, in case you actually warn someone wicked from his or her way and turns back from it, but he actually does not turn back from his way, he himself will die in his own error. Blood will be on his hands. In other words, you warn them that God's judgment is coming soon, but they don't want to know, and they actually do not turn back from their wicked way. This is it. He himself will die in his own error, whereas you yourself will certainly deliver your own soul. So you need to help, warn people that God's judgment is coming very soon. And what's happening now is, a warning. And then, but there is a hope if a wicked person turns his ways. I will read this for you and finish it off. 33:11. Verse 33, verse 11 says, say to them, as I am alive is the utterance of sovereign Lord God Yahweh, I take delight not in the death of a wicked person, but in that someone wicked turns back from his way and actually keeps living. And this is what he said, turn back from your bad ways, for why is it that you should die? Oh, it says, God says, as for you, say to the sons of the people, the righteousness of the righteous one will not itself deliver him in that day of his revolt. But as regards the wickedness of the wicked one, he will not be made to stumble by it in the day of his turning back from his wickedness. This is it. Nor will even anyone having righteousness be able to keep living because of it in the day of his sinning. When I say to the righteous one, you will positively keep living, and he himself actually trusts in his own righteousness and does injustice, all his own righteousness acts will not be remembered. But for his injustice that he has done, for this he will die. And it says here, and when I say to the wicked one, you will positively die, and he actually turns back from his sin and carries on justice and righteousness, in other words, God will spare him, and he will. So please, if you haven't come to, know Christ, please do, because, whoever calls on the name of the Lord will gain deliverance, will be saved, and he is like, as it were, the ark to gain salvation in what's to come. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much.